your horses to go away from the rail and take the strong trot. Coming back, showing the horse, means keeping the horse going at a high level, being animated, but not overriding where the horse extends his trot too much. In this class, keeping the horse informed throughout the workout and on the return is very important. The one place a rider must look out for is as they make the turn into the final straightaway, returning to the judge, that they don't suddenly ask for the horse for an increase in either motion or speed because he has shortened one diagonal to make his turn, and he may break into a canter with you. Make sure you're out of your turn completely, and then if you wish to cluck your horse or urge him into more performance, then you're in a position to do so. One of the worst faults, and one of the commonest faults, is a rider whose legs are too far forward. Scoot your whole leg, Ruth Ann. This and the foot twisted out. We must understand that in most cases we have to realize where this twist comes from. Does it come from the hip joint or does it come from the ankle? In this case, in this case it's coming from the hip joint. And we repair it by twisting the entire leg assembly in to let that heel come out where it belongs. Homer. Oh. Now, as a rider or as an instructor, I have found that if a rider's foot is forward and you tell them to pull their leg back, immediately this is what happens. They try to push it back with the toe, tightening up the shin muscles, really all the way through the torso. What you need to tell a rider to do is to point their knees. I say pretend that your knee is a pistol and you're aiming that pistol at the ground. When they do that, the foot automatically comes down. It's a matter of phraseology, but if you merely say put your feet back, then the person will start to work from the stirrup. To get proper foot position, you have to start with the knee. And in saying pointing your knee, then the shin bone does drop back into position. This is hard enough to do otherwise, standing still, but in motion it's almost impossible for the rider to do that. So I ask my riders when they first start their trot to draw the leg back and bend the knee a little more than they think is necessary. After that first stride, then the leg will drop into the proper position where the stirrup leather is vertical to the ground. Now the choice of where you hold your whip is a choice. So many times people come up and say, which is correct, Mrs. Crabtree, to hold the whip up or to hold it down? And I tell them you hold it wherever you need it. Now very often the riders in switching the whip will disturb their horse a little bit, so they need to practice this if they wish to switch the whip to the inside of the circle to hold the horse to the rail. The whip may be carried down, and Ruth Ann, put it in your hand now and show the up position of the whip. Hold there. That's right. It lays right across the arm here and back. And you want to be very careful in doing this that you hold that whip still. It's a good time sometimes maybe to change the position of the whip. If you feel your horse is tiring or it's a long class, when you reverse you may want to change from whip down to whip up, and which is completely permissible and well to do. Now Ruth Ann, sit back in the saddle just a little bit more. That's right. The stirrup leather should be perpendicular and you get your rider in the saddle where this position is comfortable to them and is practical with the saddle. Miss Mia's anxious to go. She doesn't like all this standing around. He doesn't like that whip up in the air. You can see the difference it makes in the horse with a whip down and the whip up. So when you have a tiring horse, that whip up can make the difference between a lazy horse and an alert horse. It certainly is standing here, and it also works when the horse is going. Body position varies with the size of the horse, the build of the rider. One thing that does not vary is the fact that of balance. The horse is moving forward, and the rider should give the appearance of moving with them. Very often, in order to overcome the habit of slumping and looking drab on a horse, the rider will try to correct by saying, I've got to get my shoulders back, I've got to get my head up, I've got to get my hands up, and you get this position that looks like a frozen statue. Now I want to tell you one thing you can tell a rider. Where did the hands belong? They belong where the horse needs them. You cannot cut it down to saying 3 inches above the pommel or 6 inches above. Now, Ruth Ann, shorten your reins a little bit. Rigid seat on a horse that comes from trying to take each part of the body and fix it. I have found out that one phrase will do it for me. It puts the rider in perfect balance, and I say, pull your ribs out of your belt, let your shoulders relax, and put your hands where they need to be to get your horse in collection. Very often I get letters from people saying, how high above the pommel should the reins be held? I say, you hold your reins the place they need to be according to your horse. You are not sit up there to try to pose and make a pretty picture. If you are controlling your horse, have the horse in form and in balance, you will be attractive. But this one thing of just saying, pull your ribs out of your belt, will immediately put the rider in balance and in a relaxed manner. If they try to do it, as I said, one part of the anatomy at a time, then we work into the frozen statue that we often see. So to get the correct balance, it's really very easy. Once the rider has their balance, then their mind is free to control the horse. And after all, in equitation, this is what it is. It's horse training. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. And the riders are displaying as much horse control in an equitation class as you'll see in your stake classes, but they do it with a thought of presenting a beautiful picture, and if they're in balance and the horse is collected, then this beautiful picture is what we're going to get. When we have ordinary pressure on snaffle and curb, I want Ruth Ann to drop this hand and show you that the thumb is equally on both the snaffle and the curb as they come out. If you have a horse that needs to be ridden more on the curb, then you split the reins and put your thumb on the curb rein only and loosen the outer fingers. This will keep you on your curb. Or vice versa, if you need a horse to ride on the snaffle, then split those reins and put the thumb on whichever bit you want to concentrate on. We don't want a puppy dog look like he's begging for a bone, but hands like this obviously are stiff and unwieldy. They should be at a natural position where they can flex and work, and this is particularly true when backing a horse, that we back with the wrist each movement of the horse's front legs. It will keep the horse in control that way and not just a strong, steady pull. The bite of the rein in the rule book, it says drops to the right side of the horse's shoulder. However, I really think this should be changed, and quite always in showing in open classes, I always move the reins to the outside where I give this smooth appearance. You can see shorten up a little bit end so we have more bite on this to make you see this. You can see that the reins are going to interfere with the whip, or even if you switch your whip, this is not attractive. I think probably this came from the old test where we had to mount and dismount, and certainly in mounting the horse, the reins should be on the opposite side to avoid any entanglement. But I see riders today, and I always coach my riders to do it, to switch the reins over to the other side, and no one has ever objected to it. But as I said before, the fit of the bridle, the little things about getting the bell of the boot forward, where the reins are hanging. If you just stop and analyze your own situation, what looks the best? Now, we never sacrifice control of the horse. That comes first. But then, the little things about the reins, the coordinated color of your whip, all of these things are the small things that go to make up the complete rider. We hope you've enjoyed your visit to Crabtree Farms for the filming of our sequence on saddle seat equitation. What we haven't had a chance to mention is the widespread influence that the disciplines of equitation have on young people. Not only do they learn to become expert horsemen and horsewomen, but they learn to adapt to their surroundings, the height of winning, the depths of losing. This is all the important part of it. It's always a pleasure for us to meet new people. And I think, speaking from a trainer and instructor's viewpoint, that this needs saying. Yes, we work, but our work is so pleasurable. We have a guest rider program here, and one of the reasons I instituted it was because I was missing the camaraderie, the joy and the thrill of meeting new people and of teaching them. While techniques may differ from instructor to instructor, horse to horse, rider to rider, there is one thing that we must keep uppermost in mind, that it isn't a life and death matter, that equitation is a real thing, and beyond everything else, keep in mind, it is a sport. Thank you, and come back again.